My name is Miss Erin, and normally I'm at the library at Collister. Today we are going to do a super fun project that you can do with just some normal household ingredients and some food coloring. We are going to make a rainbow in a jar. So I have all of my ingredients here for making a rainbow. We have some corn syrup, we have some canola oil, vegetable oil, we have dish soap, I have a little bit of water, and I have some rubbing alcohol. Now, how do you think we're going to use all of these things to make a rainbow in a jar? Well, it has to do with the scientific concept of density. Who knows what density means? Density is basically how many molecules are in any substance. So if we look at water, it is less dense than corn syrup. And that's because the molecules in corn syrup are packed more tightly together, making it more dense. So, who can guess which of these is the densest? I'm gonna guess this one, the corn syrup. But we'll find out. What happens when you pour different liquids with different densities into your jar is that they'll form layers. And we're going to be able to see these layers by adding food coloring to our different liquids. So let's start out with some corn syrup because I think it's going to be the densest. I'm just going to pour some in here to my measuring cup, about half a cup. And then let's add some food coloring so that we can see it really well. I'm going to make it purple. I got purple everywhere. We're just going to stir that up. Can you see that? It's making it a nice purple color. I'm going to add a little bit more. Now, if you got really close, you can see that the corn syrup is much more dense than the food coloring. Food coloring kind of sits on top until you mix it in. All right, so now we have our nice purple corn syrup, and I'm just going to pour it in here into my jar. Perfect. All right, so now we have our purple layer for our rainbow. So what do you think we should put in next out of these other ones? Which do you think is the most dense? I'm gonna pick the blue dish soap. And we're gonna do it just like we did. This is already blue, so I don't need to add food coloring. I'm gonna add just a little bit. Let's see how much we can add. Ooh, they're really close in color, so it's hard to tell, but it's definitely making it blue on top of that corn syrup. If you look and hold it up to the light, you can see it even better. You can see that the blue is sitting on top of the corn syrup. All right, perfect. All right, so now we have our 2 layers of a rainbow. Which one do you think we should add next? I bet a lot of you would think that we would add this vegetable oil next because it seems kind of thick, right? We're actually going to add the water. I'm going to turn the water green. There we go. And we're just going to very carefully add it. Kind of foamed up a little bit because there was soap in there. But now if you look, you can see we have purple, blue, and green. So you can see that the corn syrup so far is the most dense. And then we have the dish soap and then the water. All right, so we only have 2 left. This one is rubbing alcohol, and this one is vegetables. Sorry about that. Dog barking. We're gonna turn this one, how about we turn this one yellow? It's already kind of yellow, so we'll add just a few drops. And mix it up. Now it doesn't mix very well. In fact, it didn't mix at all because the food coloring is water and this is oil. So we're gonna add it very carefully. Can you see that? That's sitting on top of the water. If you look against the light again, you can see we've got 4 layers in our rainbow in a jar. Okay, now we're gonna add the last one. The last one is rubbing alcohol. To open the whole bottle here. All right, and I think we're gonna turn this one red. Just put a few drops of that in. Then we're gonna put a few drops of this in. And it'll turn a nice red color. Perfect. All right, then we're gonna add this one very, very carefully. Might mix a little bit with the yellow at first, but it'll come back. Just gonna wait for a second. Let all the layers get back to where they were. Rubbing alcohol kind of mixed it up a little bit. If you can see there, we've got the bottom layers still and they're starting to separate on the top. They'll get there eventually. That is how we make our rainbow in a jar with all different densities of liquids. Now it would be really fun if you put a lid on this and shook it up and see how long it would take to get back to all the different layers after you did that. Would it take an hour? Maybe longer? I don't know. I encourage you to go home and see what you can make into a rainbow in a jar. Maybe you have some other liquids that you could use in your kitchen and see what they can do and what densities they have. Bye.